All right, last topic. Soups and Lolo, episode 9, Loyal Subjects with the K. Directed by Eric Dean Seaton, written by Andrew N. Wong. Ton of stuff revealed in this episode. This almost felt like a mid-season finale.
Yeah, it did. It really did. And knowing these, I won't even say CW shows, but shows like this would have been that perfect mid-season finale. If this was a normal series in the sense of, say, if it had 18 or 20 episodes,
Yeah.
This would be that fall, like the fall or finale that at the end of November or something like that, and then we go through January, and maybe the end of January, beginning of February, we get new episodes.
Yep. So, this one picked up like really, really kind of cool. We got Lana learning some things about
Lois being Lois.
Yeah, dude. Again, like Elizabeth Turlock, Bitsy Turlock, like she's killing it as Lois Lane. She might be like replacing Erica Durance as my favorite Lois Lane.
Oh, she absolutely, for me, she does. So, and again, that's not a slight on Erica Durance. It's just how good she has been.
Yeah, but I'm like, Erica Durance.
Yeah.
So, she's my girl. Anyway, but no, you're absolutely right. Lois being Lois, this has been, in my opinion, the most faithful retelling of Lois from the comics that we've ever seen. Obviously, Lois on Smallville was, Lois Lane, but like proto Lois Lane, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we got to see her to mature into being an amazing pseudo comic accurate version of Lois Lane. Margot Kidder did a great job. She's, for most people, she's it for Lois Lane, like the iconic one. And I get it, but like, I like to dig a little deeper into my characters that I enjoy. But I love Lois Lane is one of the greatest characters in all of comics, hands down.
Yeah.
But so, there was that. And then the best part about this was the fact that there were actual consequences from what happened in last week's episode.
Yeah, and what I put here, unintended consequences of experimental weapons. That's one of the things you don't get a lot of in shows, where something happens and it's like an experimental weapon and you never have side effects and I won't say never, but you rarely have the side effects that follow up and and cause issues with our protagonist.
Right. Would you call this a lab leak? Oh man. No, you're right. The unexpected consequence was just Jordan. Like, and man, that poor kid. Like, he can't catch a break.
Yeah,
he ended up going bad. Like, having to deal with everything he has to deal with, because like his powers, when they turn on or go haywire, they turn on or go haywire. You know what I mean? In all caps.
Yeah. But one of the things I loved about, and again, I love how this show is shot. Mm-hmm. They do the slow motion and they don't oversaturate us with this. Even though I love our boy Zack Snyder, he oversaturates.
Whoa. He's not our boy. He's your boy.
Yeah, my. I thought that's it, my boy. So,
I tolerate Zack Snyder at best.
Yeah. No, that is accurate. That is absolutely accurate.
Sorry, I just I most of the time you speak for me and you're right. So
I love that. Whoa.
All right, back to the slow motion. Sorry.
In this, he Clark with the family and everything, and he hears a bank robbery in Mexico. And I love when he lands, bursts open the door, and he takes that breath where it's like, okay, something's not right here.
Right. Oh, and he's like, when he like, he doesn't grab his chest, but he rubs his chest because he's feeling his heartbeat. Yeah. But all right, so when he goes to stop the bank robbery, I feel like he's not so concerned about the world being made of cardboard, because he like explodes that door and sends door shrapnel everywhere, right?
That probably would have killed someone.
And so
I'm just saying.
But like, here's the thing: is like all they needed to do to make to really even sell the kryptonite sickness even a little bit more is just have him shake his head a little bit. Like, wait, why did I explode the door like that? Like, just a little bit of nuance there, and it plays up the more like feeling his chest, like, you know, taking that deep breath. But watching that guy unload the shotgun at point blank on him, and to finally watch Superman go down, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and he woke up mad.
Oh, but he still kept his temper in check.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
I mean,
and
like broken trust is not a thing with our boy Kal-El.
Yeah, and this is what I love about Hoagland's performance and how they're writing this Supes. They're writing him more. Again, I know he's Kryptonian. I know he is the ideal of hope, as they say in Man of Steel, but he's still human, or he's not. He's still human. He's human in the sense of he was raised by human. Right. Yeah, he has humanity, so he has those emotions, and you know, he gets mad, he gets angry, and I love how they played with that a couple episodes ago, where he got shot with the kryptonite bullets, and he was pissed.
Well, and he's still pissed off from Hell having the or Project 7734 having you know, the experimental weapons. My favorite thing is when the way he projects madness is when he sets his like very defined jaw.
Yes,
like it's like, oh. Like, I feel like if I ever were to meet Tyler Hoagland, I'd be like, dude, can you just set the jaw like you're mad? I just want to see it in person because, like, it's fucking the coolest thing you do. Like, I mean, like, honestly, like, it's those little things. You know, like, we joke about Tom Welling face, right? But Tom learned that. Like, as he went on, he figured out, like, hey, I can use, like, all the parts of my perfectly symmetrical face to like tell a story about what's happening, not just, you know, being a slack-jawed Smallville yokel. And yeah, I thought that was really, really just everything that happened there with that was really kind of cool. The visuals were great. Watching him almost cross the line, like I feel like he almost crossed the line when he was throwing the thugs around. Especially after he came to. But it was really cool, and I was shocked that when we saw the thing later on, it was you know, Superman stops bank robbery, and it was in the story that they mentioned him getting taken down, and that wasn't the headline.
Yeah, and again, you see the after effects on him, just on him, in the sense of he looked like he got beaten with a baseball bat. A normal person.
Yeah, when he was at home with the ice and like,
and Lois was like, "What the hell happened?"
Yeah,
it's like Superman doesn't bruise,
right? Do you like that they talk about Superman in the third person like that? I really enjoy the way they converse about Superman.
Yeah, I actually, there's something, I don't know. I like something I really like about that.
Because he's Clark. To her, he's Clark.
Yeah.
And to the boys, he's Clark. But like Superman is a part of their lives, but he's just another person. And like I said, I really like that. I think it just adds a whole nother layer to the relationship.
Yeah. And one of the things I actually meant to say last week is how Lois kept her cool enough when John Henry Irons was about to stab him, to stay in character and not call him Clark or my husband or something like that.
Yeah, because even though you could see,
you could see in her face the panic when he's about to, you know, stab him with that spear, stab Clark or stab Supes with the spear. How she like almost, well, not almost, she freaks, but she still stays in that character. And maybe that's a way of doing it, is, you know, kind of when they're home alone, every now and then using that third person, and again, you know, I might be reaching, putting motivations for why they use it, but still, I do like that. It's a nice touch.
I just think it's a good bit of character development. That's all. Like we always are like saying, hey, we want more from the story. We want consistency with characters and things like that. And I feel like this is something that's small that a lot of people probably don't notice, but it needs to be called out because, you know, the Todd Helbig is running like a really consistent shop when it comes to these characters and their motivations and who they are.
Yes. And then we have, again, we're talking about unintended consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do, and you mentioned this about Jordan having just the worst luck. Not only do we get Clark being affected by that experimental gas, you have him transferring it. You're infecting his son Jordan with it, and Jordan has much different effects.
Poor Jordan.
The effects on him.
So he got his super breath this week, and it almost killed him. I mean, yeah. So I mean, he had a cold. Jordan got a cold, and like happens when you get a cold or the flu, you get fluid in your lungs, and unfortunately, every time Jordan was breathing in, his body was trying to fight that liquid off with super breath.
Yeah,
and was slowly freezing his lungs,
which is a pretty. I mean, not for Jordan, but it was pretty cool how they explained that.
It was really quite cool. Like kind of a deeper look
literally
into the sorry. It was a deeper look into like kind of the Kryptonian physiology and the powers of how they affect that body, like a body, how powers like that affect it, and the central nervous system, the immune system, all of that. Like I know I'm getting kind of nerdy, but I felt bad for Jordan because like now he's let Sarah down again.
Yeah.
But like her dad stepped up this time, so it's kind of like, but here's the thing is like he was acting sick and so it's like, no, I just got sick. Like, I had to go to the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing is I don't think you've noticed this, but in these shows, parents don't actually talk to the kids or the other kids that they're friends with. To be like, oh yeah, no, he was sick. And it's, so he tore himself up about missing it, Sarah. But it sounds like it was awesome that your dad stepped up. That's all that takes to keep it from going so angsty and whiny, because they can go angsty and whiny. I mean, not like Whiny Allen level whiny, but still.
Yeah, but there are bigger fish to fry now. That some of this, because I agree with that point, and that's I won't say it's a miss, but it's kind of like one of those missed nitpicks, but it's a miss that could very well solve some of the issues, some of the teenage drama.
Yep.
But
and hold on, before we move on, can we just take a second and recognize Indy Narvati's beautiful voice?
Wow. Yes.
Beautiful voice, beautiful singing voice. Like I'm assuming it was her, because like I feel like these CW actresses all have that like 1, 2, 3 act. Well, hold on, 1, 2, 3 dance, sing, act in that order skill set. Yeah. And she crushed that song. I mean, that was really cool.
Yeah. So back to some big revelations, we talk about, and you bring up her dad, and not just her dad, but what was the Lana's friend
Emily, her friend Emily,
who went through the procedure, and we see what actually happens when they go through that procedure. We see the melding of the Kryptonian sentience, or the Kryptonian personality. And I look at it like it's being overlaid, but it takes time to totally seep in. So,
well, they kind of explain that a little bit with the dialogue. It is an overlay, but it's not a full erasure. And it's when the original personality pokes out is when they get destroyed. Right. So, or when they self-destruct. I mean, it's so close to Extremis from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, that was last week when you said that. That was a very apt comparison.
It's so close to it. It's just a little less violent of a reaction, right? But like we also haven't seen them like the people they're taking are like like in really good physical condition and things like that. Like I think it'd have been more interesting to see them like healing people. Like people have been sick and just kind of like oh yeah, this person was sick and they went into Edge's facility and now they're better and look at them and but my question is, so like does Kyle, like we got to see Kyle play guitar. We got to see Kyle being a dad, right? Will he eventually lose the Kyle memories?
Yeah, or is it more of something kind of like you're doing a comparison document and you merge everything together? Like I don't. That's one of those questions.
It's like that Excel merge docs thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything that's the same gets overwritten. Anything that's different, that's where you messed up,
because you have Kyle where. And again, we were talking about this last week, how we loved what they did with him, his character.
Oh, yeah.
And too often you have a character like Kyle where he's, you just use him as, he's going to be the ass that, causes trouble. But they really did a job, having us sympathize for him. And then they give us this, well, I won't call it a swerve because we kind of knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to come this soon.
I assumed it was going to be like one of the very last things we saw this season.
Yeah. So having him show up, at the Kent farm while, Jonathan and Lois are running from Emily and Big Man, which I don't know his name, that were sent by Morgan Edge. Cause one of the things Morgan Edge says is, oh, Superman's having issues. This is a perfect time to take Lois off the board. And then Kyle shows up. I'm like, why is he there?
Mm-hmm.
And I one thing we haven't talked about yet is Jonathan. Dude, he's got some slippery fingers. He took the weapons from the camper.
Right.
And again, that probably saved them.
Yeah.
Because
I think Sam saved them. With having the kryptonite gas and this was a good Sam Lane episode as well. Because you got to see just how capable of a soldier he is, and he's not some bureaucrat. Like, he knew what he was going up against. He knew he was going up against Kryptonians, essentially. And, there was no chill there at all. He started bombing them with the smoke and was, trying to attack them and doing the best that he could as just a mere mortal. Because remember, when Clark was fighting the dude last week and the smoke went off, I mean, that guy was a fully powered subject with a K. And, it took Clark, who, is a native Kryptonian, to like a little while to be able to take him down. And Sam did an awesome job, like fighting them off.
Absolutely.
Giving John and Lois time to get away.
Yeah, absolutely. He did. And whatever that weapon was, I want one of those.
Oh, the solar gun.
Yeah, but the reveal that Kyle is actually was overlaid. I'm going to use that term.
Yeah,
was great.
Let's call it
nice shot.
Let's call it subjected
with a K
because they're subjects. They're subjected. Yeah, with a K.
With it.
So yeah, Kyle was subjected. But yeah, you're right when he says nice shot.
And then the cruelty of Morgan Edge, where he says he wants you to suffer, so you're going to have to basically watch me kill your son first.
Okay, so here's my question. Does Morgan Edge know that Superman is Clark? Or does he just know that Clark and Lois have this relationship from the whole Daily Planet thing? And he's making Lois suffer.
I think it's the latter.
That's what I think too.
I'm pretty sure. I'm betting on the latter, but we'll know more next week because we do have the showdown. Or the face-off. That's I would call it that, between Clark and Morgan Edge.
That was a great reveal at the end. So Lois's beacon goes off. Clark flies out to it. And it's Morgan Edge standing there. And on just some plateau. it was like almost, it made me think about the plateau where he left the thugs in the van, right?
Right, that's what it looked like.
And so in a rare loss of just kind of awareness for this version of Superman, he goes all in, like full speed, and it turns out that Edge is not who we think he is, and he smacks him down. And
I love how the camera finally pans and you see the Kryptonian symbol
right
on his chest.
If he's Zod, though, I'm gonna rage quit the show.
Don't do that. That was
actually, I'm not gonna rage quit. If he's Zod, I'm just not gonna like it. But like,
for good or ill, that was my first reaction when I first saw that he's Kryptonian.
It didn't look like the Jor-El, symbol. But
no,
I'll admit I'm rusty on my Kryptonian, so
Yeah, I got to brush off on those skills.
But no, I mean that was great, and then I loved it when he just does what I feel like every Kryptonian bad guy should do, and lifts off, and is just floating a couple feet off the ground, because he's too good to stand on Earth. I feel like that is the arrogance that is the Kryptonian people.
And just remember, in Man of Steel, that's exactly what Zod did when he finally mastered the ability to fly. Well, I believe you said if you could fly, you would never.
My feet would never ever touch the ground again. So never. The only surface I would touch is when I go in the water. Because I'd still want to go underwater. All right, one thing we skipped over. The reason X-Kryptonite works in Smallville, we learned it.
Oh, huge reason.
Because they've all been around it since Clark came to Earth. Because it's the localized area of X-Kryptonite. And I loved even just the little bit where they were talking about Kryptonite coming to Earth. The meteor shower lasted for a week. And Clark goes, yeah, every kind of Kryptonite. Just kind of kind of funny, but kind of just every Kryptonite you could possibly think of. I just thought it was a nice little wink and tip of the hat to hey, guess what? We could do whatever we want with Kryptonite because there's every kind.
All kinds.
Yeah.
I love that because
that was the coolest reveal.
Yeah, and you realize, okay, yes, that's why Smallville is important to Morgan Edge. It's not that he has the X-Kryptonites there, but it's people who can become subjects that, have the ability to withstand these, this subjections.
Yeah, they can become permanent subjections.
Yes.
So,
but again, it's just the writing and how how everything flows together. Yes, it's just this show's just
this is the superhero. So if you're listening at this point, or if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. But if you're this far in, and you haven't watched this show, this is the show that will cure any superhero fatigue you might be feeling.
Yes. Whether it be from movies or
right.
whether it be from the previous CW shows, or I mean, not previous, but CW shows that are still going on.
I know we're gushing over this show, right? We gush over this. We're very close to being Soups and Lolo stands. If we aren't already, that's debatable. But this is by no means a perfect show, but it's doing so many things right. The things that it does kind of get wrong, like the editor of the Daily or whatever, the Smallville Gazette or the Smallville, I don't even know. That's a character that's kind of okay, if she's not a subject at some point, I'm going to be disappointed. But and some of the other kind of townspeople coming in and the fact that Superman seems to kind of be shirking some of his responsibilities, and nobody's figured out that he's not in Metropolis anymore, and Intergang just hasn't taken over. It's so much better than everything we've had over the last 5 years. And especially where this version of Superman came from on Supergirl. to now to this character.
To being from being a jobber to being from being the jobber to being the one getting the big push.
So like
as he should.
Like I look at him like Jeff Hardy, right? Like Jeff Hardy was started out, him and his brother and Gregory Helms, they were going to shows and getting paid $50 to wrestle, get jobbed out when WWE was, within like 500 miles of them. And, I forget who the guy was, but that was who set it up for him, and he was taking 40 of the $50. But like, Jeff worked and became world champ. And, and it's not necessarily the same thing, but it's just seeing the work that they've put into rehabbing this character.
Mm-hmm.
I think is really cool, because even in the Crisis, he was sidelined.
Yes.
Because Lex Luthor was going around killing Superman.
Right, man. Which, anyway, but yeah, I love this. This is what we've wanted from Superman when he first came to the, or I wanted when he first appeared on Supergirl.
Yeah,
and we finally got it. So I just love what they've done with this show. And like you said, it's not perfect, but the good parts are so good. It puts aside, it helps you almost ignore or tolerate stuff that would be either like again, because one of the things of what I didn't like is the editor of the Smallville Gazette, or that was the thing I put on here. And I the only other thing I said was Kyle's turn, just because it was quicker than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about how they built him up last episode, it kind of makes sense why they did it right now. But again, I thought they could have used him for another episode or two before it got to this. Again, small nitpick, but overall, this show just keeps coming and just keeps giving us good content.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So out of 5 multiverse solar guns, because that was a pretty freaking cool reveal, because you thought it was just going to be a regular gun and it fired off a solar blast. What do you give the show?
I'm going with my 0.25. I'm giving it a 4.25.
Okay.
I thought it was good. Most of the show was good, and then the last 15 minutes just took it off. But I mean, there were some moments, through the first part of the show that weren't as strong. I loved how we started off and got more of Lois Lane being Lois Lane.
Yep.
Love what Jonathan did,
mm-hmm.
and the whole unintended consequences and having payoff for something that happened with what we don't see with experimental weapons, and how stuff happens that the creators didn't expect. So I like that. I love the Morgan Edge reveal. I'm really curious to see what happens with very excited to see what happens with him.
Yeah.
With Kyle saying, hey, I woke up being and I woke up in a ditch or something like that. He had a blackout.
Mm-hmm.
So how that plays into him, his family.
Yeah.
And can they save him? Or there's a lot of questions coming out of that. But yeah, 4.25.
So I'm giving a 4.5, but I feel like you really want to join me at the 4.5. The 4.25 is a little low. So and honestly, I give it that bump up partly because Sarah's just performance was really cool, and I think that needs to be recognized. And mm-hmm. two, just the little bits of continuity that they keep running through this show. Really well. Like, they do all the small things right, and that's where most shows fail.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I think we've reached the end of the episode. So, if you don't have anything else, thank you all for listening. Like and subscribe on whatever you're listening to. And if you like the show, head over to Apple Podcast, or head over to the website, and there's a link for Podchaser. Just drop in a solid review that you think we've earned, and that would be super helpful. All right, any last words?
Nope. Be on the lookout for some content about E3 early next week.
Yeah, Daryl's gonna talk about E3. Anyway, all right. On that note, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.